creative process is what I see is a part of everything. It is what we all go through in evoking change in our life, in not evoking, in being a victim to change. It depends on where we stand in our ownership of the processes. But it is the process of movement and change that is happening in everything all the time. So what's happening with the water, for instance, or the earth is easy. What happens with the trees? What happens with the growth from season to season? What happens with our projects? What happens with our own process of change? This is what I am referring to with creative process. So creative process is this phenomenal thing that's going on all the time, whether it is creating a new business and going through the process of change and development in a business setting, whether it's the process of change and development in a community setting, a community project, initiating something new and starting something new and getting it off the ground, creating something anew, effecting change in one's own life, changing the course of one's own life. Or the very simple, to bring it to very simple terms, making something for the first time on a piece of paper, drawing something, taking a very fluid and liquid visual idea and putting it into form, putting it into solid form, although that form must have malleability to it as well, because everything is changing. So the water, it freezes, it becomes an iceberg. That iceberg eventually melts itself and becomes water again. And there's a whole bunch of stages in the midst of that. Just the very simple, in the Arctic, the water in the winter freezes, the rivers freeze, and in the spring there's what's called breakup, and there's these giant chunks of ice that are trying to find their way down that river. And eventually they become so fluid that they just flow with such ease. This is what we experience with our own creative energy, with the fact that I can have a very fluid idea and want to go with that, or maybe I'm totally stuck and I've got writer's block and I can't figure out what I'm trying to do. But eventually there will be a breakthrough that will push me through to opening the flow so that it all does flow.